Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our reading through the Tanak segment tonight, the 5th of June, 2024. Okay. I'll be reading out of the book of Zechariah. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening. We have over 1,000 videos that you can examine and check them out, get the information out of them. Ours operation are from Tuesday, Thursday, 7 to 9 Central Time. We have classes, and then on Friday nights we have advanced Bible study. That's on Clubhouse, and the Clubhouse room is non-Messianic conversation. Then we come back on Saturdays, and we have 2 Shabbat classes, one in the morning and one in the evening. The morning Shabbat is 10 to 12 a.m. Central Time. Then we come back and close out the Shabbat for about an hour, little over an hour, from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Okay, so with that being said, this is a non-Messianic channel. Okay, it's a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanak and the Torah. Tanak being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Israel by their Redeemer, the Lord of Hosts. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanak lesson. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer. We read the Psalms. We have some current events to stay up on what's going on around the world globally. Then we do some need-to-know information, and I'll open it up for some Q&A, questions and comments, and then we'll go into our topic, which is reading out of the book of Zechariah. Okay? This moment of silence for the Lord of Hosts, and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay? Oh Lord, we thank you for your great mercy and your great power and wisdom, and we tarry waiting for your potential, your powerful deliverance of your people Israel. Oh Lord, you have given us insight into the scriptures of our forefathers. You, O Lord, have directed us to who you are and your role in the goings on of heaven and earth. When we come this day, doubtless that you will appear and that you will gather your nation from among these wicked Gentiles. O Lord, you spoke through your prophet Isaiah and said that you would help Abraham's seed, that you have scattered. You have completed that promise as of this day. And you said, O Lord, that you would remove the darkness from around us. Tarry not, O Lord, the latter days are here, and we are waiting and watching for you. Peace be unto you. Okay? So with that being said, we read a song. Okay. Okay, I'll read Psalm 57. It's a prayer for deliverance. It says, be merciful unto me, O God. Be merciful unto me, for my soul trusteth in thee. Yea, in the shadow of thy wings will I make my refuge, until these calamities be overpassed. I will cry unto God most high, unto God that performeth all things for me. He shall sing from heaven, and save me from the reproach of him that would swallow me up. Selah, God shall send forth his mercy unto his and truth, and his truth. My soul is among lions, and I lie even among them that are set on fire, even the sons of men, whose teeth are spears and arrows, and their tongues are sharp like sword. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens, and let thy glory be above all the earth. They have prepared a net for my steps. My soul is bowed down. They have digged a pit before me into the midst, wherefore they are fallen themselves. Selah, my heart is fixed, O God. My heart is fixed, and I will sing and give praise. Awake up, my glory, awake, pastry and harp. I myself will awake early. I will praise thee, O Lord, among the people, and I will sing unto thee among the nations. For Thy mercy is great unto the heavens, and thy truth unto the clouds. Be thou exalted, O God, above the heavens, and let thy glory be above the earth. So this is a Psalm of David, and it's just when he wrote this psalm, it was during the time that he was in the caves, hiding and fleeing from Saul. Okay. So anybody have any comments? Okay. Go to our current events. Okay.
Prepared for the coming economic collapse, because here we go. In 2024, we're going to be seeing regional banks falling and failing hard and fast. We're already seeing it. So this is not some conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, fear mongering. It's already happening. So if you're going to write fear mongering in the comments, save your typing fingers, because it's already happening. There were major turmoil in the banking industry last year. Of course, we saw the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, First Republic Bank, all went down like a string of dominoes. Later in the year, we saw the demise of Silvergate Bank and Heartland Tri-State Bank. Combined, their $440 billion in assets created the biggest collapse since the inception of the FDIC. Think about it. The FDIC had to step in and use up almost the bulk of its insurance money to cover most of these losses. Unbelievable. So you might want to ask yourself, how much money does the FDIC actually have left? The answer is not very much. When you dive into the details of the FDIC, you will be shocked. You will be stunned, and you will leave with your jaw dropped. I'm telling you, it's a stunning thing once you realize that the emperor has no clothes. While we've yet to see any massive banks fail in 2024, we've seen a number of regional banks failing, one after the other, month after month in 2024. So it's only a matter of time until we see the next big shoe to fall. And these small banks are being gobbled up by the big boys. Here's why this is happening. This is one big piece of it: commercial real estate. All those commercial real estate loans coming due this year into next, and all of these small regional banks are expected to face major turbulence. Office, retail spaces have faced high vacancy rates in the past few years as work from home culture took over. The shift has changed the game in the office space industry, leaving many buildings totally vacant or 70% vacant. This, combined with continued high interest rates, is creating a pinch for lenders and leaseholders. So if you've taken out a commercial real estate loan and you're coming back to try to refinance it because it was a 5-year flexible rate, and now the rates are, of course, way higher, that commercial bank, that small local regional bank, is going to say, sorry, we can't do that. We can't refinance that. We don't have the assets to do that. We don't have the money to do that. Most leaseholders have no interest in refinancing. At this point, many commercial properties are valued lower than the debt. And with that way, the rates have been, of course, they've increased over the past few years. It just doesn't make any sense to refinance into a higher interest rate loan right now. See, you see? So the commercial real estate runs on debt. But when the debt doesn't fit the deal, someone has to take a loss. And in commercial real estate, especially high-rise office spaces, the losses are enormous right now. Even big-name companies like BlackRock have defaulted on their commercial loans. Despite any effort made by regulators to ensure stability and faith in the banking sector, there's still a lot of risk happening. Listen to what the FDIC chair, Sheila Bair, had to say. This is former FDIC chair, Sheila Bair. I love when these people leave these posts, because when they're former, they can speak a little bit more extemporaneously about what's really going on here and about the turmoil that's coming ahead. Listen.
We're kind of in the same place we were last spring, and still at the same risk of uninsured deposit runs. So I think that's something regulators need to deal with and go to Congress and get reinstatement of the FDIC's emergency authority. They're trying to cover this through lending facilities at the Fed and the Federal Home Loan Banks, but that only works until it doesn't. That's much more expensive sources of funding. And it's not, if you're an uninsured depositor, I don't know if you're going to wait around and think, okay, they can borrow plenty from the Fed. if you think the bank's in trouble, you're going to be worried. So I do think this is still a problem.
Any bank that has a large portion of commercial real estate in their portfolio is in for a world of hurt. And unfortunately, it's going to be the little guys that take huge losses. Federal Reserve data from September 2023, listen to this, showed that commercial real estate comprised 44% of portfolios at small banks versus only 14% of the country's 25 big banks. You see what's about to happen? A lot of these small banks are going to be gobbled up. So what then? Sadly, it's only a matter of time. We're going to see Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase, all of them grabbing these smaller banks, cornering a larger monopoly in the banking industry. This is exactly what the Federal Reserve wants. They want a few big banks to control everything. It's clear that these collapses tend to impact smaller and mid-sized banks, especially those that are not well diversified. They make their money on these commercial real estate loans.
If you look at the balance sheet of both the regional and community banks, historically, their lending activities have comprised with a larger percentage of commercial real estate. And so just by the nature of the balance sheet having more dedication to commercial real estate, they're going to feel the impact.
What's worse is that these smaller banks are usually the ones that we talk about as being competitive with their pricing, and they are able to develop great relationship-based products with their clients because they know the neighborhoods, they can walk in face-to-face, much better than the larger big banks. So when they go under, of course, the big name banks are going to take their business, where they will continue to charge the highest rates on banking products like credit cards, personal loans. And in a country where our credit card debt is out of control to the tune of 1.1 trillion, this is troubling for Americans. Look at this. If 2023 was the worst year for banks since 2008, it's scary to think about what could be in store for 2024 and 2025 when all is said and done over the next 2 years. We'll get back to the video in a second, but look, your money is not safe. You can see all.
Okay, any comments on that? Okay, no comments? Yeah, so like I said before, I'm bringing it up because it's the day coming. The banks are going to collapse. And the environment is going to change. Okay? Here we go.
Of Captain Ibrahim Traore is supposed to end on July 1st, 2024, but this man pledged to hold fresh elections when he took charge in October 2022. Now, the people's will is clear. They don't want elections or a new leader. Thousands have taken to the streets demanding Traore stay. From the capital Ouagadougou to activists across the Sahel region, a revolutionary Pan-African spirit is igniting. In this video, you'll see the remarkable efforts of Traore to transform Burkina Faso, the agricultural revolution, mining reforms, new weapons, and allies. You'll understand why the people insist on keeping this patriotic leader and why the West won't broadcast their voice. We will be that voice today. The flashpoint that sparked the current upheaval in Burkina Faso was the unprecedented rally on May 11th, 2024 in Ouagadougou. An extraordinary scene unfolded as thousands of citizens converged at the municipal stadium. But they were not alone. Activists had traveled from neighboring Mali and Niger to join this historic demonstration. The resounding chant that echoed through the crowds was unequivocal. We don't want to hear about another president. We don't want elections. Their unwavering demand was for Captain Traore to continue his reign. At first glance, it may appear paradoxical that Africans are calling for a military ruler instead of an elected civilian leader. However, upon examining Traore's impressive achievements in under 2 years at the helm, the rationale behind this fervent support becomes glaringly evident. Traore has spearheaded an agricultural renaissance, rekindling pride in Burkina Faso's rich farming heritage. Drawing inspiration from the legendary Thomas Sankara, he initiated two monumental programs, the Agro-Pastoral Offensive and the Presidential Initiative for Food Self-Sufficiency, to catalyze a revolution in food production. The results have been nothing short of remarkable. A nation once told that certain crops like wheat could never thrive on its soil is now an exporter of that very commodity. In February 2024, Traore secured a vital €38 million injection from the African Development Bank to bolster an emergency agricultural drive. Just a month later, an unprecedented 78 billion CFA francs were invested in procuring new tractors, seeds, and fertilizers. As Kizenga Babaya of the National Coordination of Citizens Watch Associations eloquently stated, for more than 60 years, we were made to understand that wheat could not be produced here. But today, with Traore at the helm, we are proudly a wheat exporting nation. However, Traore's transformative agenda did not stop at revitalizing agriculture. After decades marred by opaque and exploitative mining deals, he boldly banned all gold exports to restructure and regain control over this crucial sector. Cutting out the predatory middlemen, Traore oversaw the construction of Burkina Faso's first ever gold refinery and a state-of-the-art mining waste processing facility. For the first time, ordinary Burkinabes can reap tangible benefits from their nation's mineral riches through decent jobs in refining and processing gold within their borders. Unsurprisingly, Traore's administration achieved an impressive governance rating, a remarkable feat for a military leader. Traore, leveraging on the security front, Traore's military pedigree has proven invaluable. Inheriting a nation besieged by the scourge of Islamist militancy, he swiftly bolstered Burkina Faso's armed forces with an influx of new weapons, equipment, and gear. Leveraging his strategic contacts with Russia and the joint Sahel military forces, facilitated crucial training programs and intelligence sharing. After years of merely defending towns and villages, the reinvigorated Burkinabe military can finally take the offensive against terrorist elements, safeguarding the people's safety and defending the nation's sovereignty, a top priority for the captain.
Okay. Anybody have any comments on that? The guy Tory is supposedly stepping down, so we got Africa in an uproar. We'll see how that turn out. Okay. And with that being said, we'll open it up for some questions, comments. Anybody have anything they want to put on the table? They want to talk about? Thing they came across?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, I
Okay.
want to speak on Jabaz in Second Chronicles, chapter 4.
Okay.
When you read Psalms, it sounded more like what Jabaz asked of the Lord for protection in enlarging his territory. So is he? It's just a little small part in the the Old Testament in Second Chronicles. Is he kin to any one of David's lineage?
What chapter is that?
That's chapter 4, verse 9. In
Says,
Second Chronicles
okay.
4.
Furthermore, he made the courts of the priests and the great court and the doors of the court, and overlaid the doors of them with brass. See it 4 and 9?
Um, it's Second Chronicles 4. Yes, sir.
I don't see a Jabaz in that verse.
You read incorrectly. One moment. First Chronicles. I apologize. Forgive me.
Okay.
It's First Chronicles 4 and 9 through 10. 9 and 10.
Okay. It says, and eastward he inhabited unto the inner of the wilderness from Euphrates. No, it's 5. Okay. And Jabaz was more honorable than his brethren, and his mother called his name Jabaz, saying, because I bore him with sorrow. And Jabaz called on God of Israel, saying, oh, that thou wouldest bless me indeed, and enlarge my coast, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou wouldest keep me from evil, that it may not be grieved, that it may not grieve me. And God granted him that which he had requested. Okay, so we got to go back, start at verse 1. It says, sinners of Judah, sons of Judah, Perez, Haran, Carmi, or Hugh, and Shabal. And Reshab, the son of Shabal, begot Jehath. And Jehath begot Anami, and Lahad. These are the families of the Zorites. These were the fathers of these were the father of Etam, Jeriel, Isma, Ibash, and the name of their sister was I can't say that name, Hezekiah, and Penal, the father of Gedar, and Ezer, the father of Hushan. These are the sons of Er, the firstborn of Euphrates, the father of Bethlehem, and Asher, the father of Tika, had 2 wives, Hela and Nora. And Nora bore him Ashim and Hefer and Turnai, and I don't can't say these names, and Hashmata. These were the sons of Nahar, and the sons of Hela were Zerah, Jedr, Ethan, Cuz, because of Anu, and Zobah, and the
Sabak.
families of Azar, and Jezebel, and Jabaz was more honorable than his brethren, and the mother called his name Jabaz, saying, because I bore him with sorrow. And Jabaz called on God of Israel, saying, oh, that thou wouldest bless me indeed, and enlarge my coast, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou wouldest keep me from evil, that it might not grieve me. And God granted him that which he had requested. And Kilab, the brother of Shaul begot Mihar, which was the father of Eshton. Eshton begot. So this is a man out of this is a man out of the lineage of Judah, right? And then or from my understanding of it, I was telling people, you hear people when they talk about Bethlehem in the New Testament, JC, they always say Bethlehem, but when you notice that David and Jesse they from Bethlehem, Euphrates. It's a big ass difference. And so this man right here, he tells you in verse 4 that he was the firstborn of Euphrates, the father of Bethlehem. So Euphrates is the father of Bethlehem. So this man right here is out of that lineage. And evidently a righteous man. From verse 10 said Jabez called on God, on God of Israel, saying, oh, that thou would have blessed me indeed and enlarged my coast, and that thine hand might be with me, and that thou wouldst keep me from evil, that it might not grieve me. And God had granted him that which he requested. So, like I said, he's tied to the lineage of uh, Euphrates, which is the father of Bethlehem. If you go to 2 Samuel right quick, let me see. Yeah, First Samuel. 1 Samuel 16. Okay, this one David got anointed. Show you what I'm talking about. It says in chapter 16, 1 Samuel, verse 1, the Lord said unto Samuel, how long wilt thou mourn for Saul, seeing I have rejected him from reigning over Israel? Fill thy horn with oil, and I will send thee to Jesse. See right here? The Bethlehemite. So just Jesse from Bethlehem. For I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel said, how can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me. And the Lord said, take a heifer with thee and say, I am come to sacrifice to the Lord, and call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show thee what thou shalt do, and thou shalt anoint him unto me him whom I name unto thee. And Samuel did what the Lord had said, and came to Bethlehem, and it's Bethlehem Euphrates, and the elders of the town trembled at his coming, and said, come thou peaceably. And he said, peaceably I am come to sacrifice unto the Lord. Sanctify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. And he sacrificed Jesse and his sons, and he called him to the sacrifice. So, like I was saying before, it's a big difference in Bethlehem in the New Testament and Bethlehem Euphrates. So if you go to Micah right quick, one more verse. Go to Micah, and you'll see, like I said, these books out of order because they want to lead you to the New Testament. But David is the Messiah. So let's look at it right quick. Micah. So right here, when you understand this is when everything started becoming clear. It says, chapter 5, verse 1. So they want you to think this is Jesus, but it's David. So it says, now gather thyself in troops, O daughter of troops. Ye have laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Israel with a rod upon the cheek. So they pull this verse out. Put that on JC. But here go what I'm talking about. Verse 2. But thou, O Bethlehem Euphrates. See that?
Yes,
That's David's lineage. The guy named Euphrates, Bethlehem Euphrates, where Jesse from, David daddy. Among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me in the last day, right? To be ruler in Israel, who's going forth have been from old. JC ain't wasn't from old. David is from old. He was the first king that the Lord chose. The people chose Saul, but the more we just read what he told Samuel, go and anoint David, my king. I chose him. The people chose Saul. So he says in verse 2, but thou, O Bethlehem Euphrates, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me. David right here. Say, they come to me, shall be ruler in Israel, who's going forth have been from old. And then they added, I showed you how they added it from everlasting on there. They added that to make it look like it's JC. So let's look at that right quick. So go to I think it's Zephaniah, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, let me get it. Zephaniah. Okay, it says, okay. Give me a minute. Yeah, I'm in Amos. Amos chapter 8 says, this David right here also. It says, in that chapter 8, Amos 8 and 11, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David. See that? Not Yahshua, not Jesus. In that day, which ain't happened yet, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that has fallen, and I will close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build them as in the days of old. See, ain't no everlasting on that. Because they didn't choose this verse. They chose the verse over there, the hoodwink to make you think it's JC, so they put for everlasting on it. But right here it says, in that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David. See that? Not no Yahushua, none of that. Tabernacle of David that is fallen, and I will close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. That's right, going right to Ezekiel 37. He promised all our forefathers he's gonna raise them up in the latter days, and they was gonna judge the angels. So that's why it's so important to understand the difference in Bethlehem and Bethlehem Euphrates.
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So let me get this right quick. Somebody might want to comment on it. It says we need to be crying out to for deliverance to our Creator, Yahweh alone. This place is finished. Right. So you go by what the scripture is telling us. When you read them right, it tells you that Yahweh got a redeemer. The Lord of hosts is a redeemer. Let's look at it. So we got to cry out to the redeemer, not the creator, to the redeemer. So it says Isaiah, okay? Isaiah 44. It says, Isaiah 44, thus said the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. They got a Redeemer right there. I am the first and I am the last, and besides me there is no God. So bouncing off of that, when you read it for what it's saying, right? Thus say the Lord, the King of Israel, and his Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. So the scripture telling you who the Redeemer is, the Lord of hosts. Long before you get to dealing with Paul and all them, Israel already had a Redeemer. So let's look at it. So Israel is in captivity in Babylon. This is just an example. They in captivity in Babylon. They got to leave. But before they leave, the Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, got a covenant with David. But he always going to have a man on the throne of Israel out of his lineage, and he got a covenant with Moses. That he always going to have a high priest in the temple, running the temple out of Aaron's lineage. So before they can leave their captivity, those two people got to be identified. So let's look at it. So I'm going to show you the Messiah, the high priest, and the Redeemer of Israel, long before New Testament came. So we in Haggai. Like I said, these books out of order. You have to understand that. So, I mean, this is just an example. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm in Haggai. So Haggai was in captivity. Haggai is one of the prophets that came out of Babylon when they all came out, when it was delivered after 70 years. So I'm in chapter 1 of Haggai. So these angels coming to these prophets, and the prophets coming and telling the people. So chapter 1 of Haggai, in the second year of Darius, remember that because we're going to read that, and we're going to read this again in Zechariah when we get started reading. It says, in the second year of Darius, king, in the 6th month, in the first day of the month, came the word of the Lord to Haggai. See that? The Lord of hosts came to Haggai. We're going to see that in a minute. Came to Haggai, the prophet, said unto him, the prophet Haggai, to the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shepherd, king, that governor is king of Judah. So that's David's lineage. Zerubbabel is out of David's lineage. And Joshua, the son of Judah, the high priest. So let's just say if an angel came to Haggai, right, and told him, you got to go and identify these two men and let them know that it's time of the 7 years are up. Now here we go, verse 2. What I just read in Isaiah. The Lord, the Creator said, I'm the King of Israel and my Redeemer, the Lord of hosts. Verse 2. Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts. There he is. They're going to redeem right here. This ain't the Creator. Saying, this people say the time has not come, the time that the Lord house shall be built. Then came the word of the Lord of hosts, that's the Redeemer, by Haggai the prophet. So the Lord of hosts, the Redeemer, Yahweh ain't in it. JC ain't in it. He says, then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, it is time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house is laid waste. Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the Redeemer, right here. Consider your ways. You are sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes in it. Thus said the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up the mountain and bring wood and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will glorify it, says the Lord. So this is the Lord of hosts right here. When you read everything in context. Okay, then go to the next page. We're gonna see what he do. Redeemer delivers. That's what a redeemer do. So we're in chapter 2. It says the 7th month, in the 120th day of the month, came the word of the Lord of hosts, by the prophet Haggai, saying, speak now to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, king of Judah, and so if you're gonna deal with and right here, you gotta deal with and in Isaiah 44. Can't fumble with it. So he said, speak now to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josiah, the high priest, and the residue of the people. They go to 2 anointed ones. So he says, 3. Who was left among you that saw the house of the first glory, and how do you see it now? Is it not in your eyes as a comparison of as is nothing? Yet now, be strong, O Zerubbabel, saith the Lord of hosts. Be strong, O Joshua. He's talking to both of these anointed ones, son of Josiah, high priest. And be strong, all you people of the land, saith the Lord, and work, for I am with you. Now here you go. Saith the Lord of hosts. I ain't writing. Now let's go over and watch him deliver, do his job. Verse 20. And again, the word of the Lord of hosts, came unto Haggai in the 4th and 20th day of the month, saying, speak to Zerubbabel, this out of David's lineage, governor of Judah, saying, I, look at this, the Lord of hosts talking, I will shake the heavens and the earth, not the creator. I will overthrow the kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and the riders that come down, everyone by his sword. In that day, saith the Lord of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, son of Shealtiel, saith the Lord, and I will make thee a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Lord of hosts. I mean, don't get no plainer than that. You're right. We need to deal with the Redeemer. Let him do his job. Okay. Anybody any comments on that?
Shalom. Like when you read on 23, is he talking about through the Messiah, um, our descendant, that he will make you, when it
No,
says,
this is during the time of Babylon captivity. He's delivering the Israelites out of Babylon. So he's using Zerubbabel to do it. He's out of David's lineage. He's when you want to rightly divide that, you go back to Daniel 9:25. They tell you that Messiah in Daniel 9:25 is Jesus, but it's Zerubbabel. Messiah only means anointed one. All the kings in Israel are anointed. So Zerubbabel is that Messiah that's in Daniel 9:25. So the
Yes, sir.
commandment should go forth, like, so the commandment in Ezra. Like I said, let's look at it. The books are, that's why they got the books all scrambled up. The only way I know this is Lord of Hosts showed it to me. You know what? I never would have got it if he wouldn't. So anyway, it says Daniel 9:25 says, like I said, they came in and plucked out verses and put them JC on them and took it back to the New Testament. So it says, Daniel 9:25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build Jerusalem until the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks, the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublesome time. Then, so right here, this is a prophecy. But Daniel is in Babylon, and he told them to go to Babylon. Jeremiah told him, you're going to Babylon for 70 years. So they at the end of the 70 years, and this commandment came forth saying that the time it came. And so he's going to identify the prince. Well, that's what I had guy in Babylon too. So now he goes to the prince, with the prince that's because he's out of the lineage of David. Zerubbabel is out of the lineage of David. That's the prince right there. He's also that Messiah. So let's look at it. So this commandment, this is the prophecy in Daniel 9:25. But notice what we got to do. We got to go back because this book's out of order. You got to go to Ezra, way back up to the front of the book. Daniel came before Ezra. So go to Ezra chapter 1. This is the prophecy coming to pass. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah. See that? So Jeremiah came before Daniel. Then Daniel came, then Ezra to fulfill it. So right here it says the Lord says that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. The Lord of hosts stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation. This is the commandment right here that Daniel talking about. He made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, put it in writing, saying, thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God, the Lord of hosts of heaven, have given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he have charged me to build him a house in Jerusalem. Just take you right to Daniel 9:25. Who is there among you of all his people? This God be with him. This the 70 years is up. This prophecy coming to pass. And let him go unto Jerusalem, which is in Judea, build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourned, let the men of his place help him with silver, with gold, with goods, with beasts, besides the freewill offering of the house of God that is in Jerusalem. Then 5. Then rose up the chief fathers of Judah and Benjamin, the priests and the Levites, with all them whose spirit God had raised, to go up unto the house of the Lord which is in Jerusalem. And all they that were about them strengthened their hands with vessels of silver, with gold, with goods, beasts, precious things, besides all that was willingly offered. Also Cyrus, king of Persia, brought forth the vessels out of the house of the Lord, which Nebuchadnezzar had brought forth out of Jerusalem, and he put them in the house of his God. Then verse 8, even, here you go, we're looking for the Messiah in Daniel 9:25. Even those did Cyrus, king of Persia, bring forth by the hands of Mithra, the treasurer, numbered them unto Sheshbazzar. Here go the prince in Daniel 9:25. Sheshbazzar, the prince of Judah. So he got a Chaldean name, but he's a prince of Judah. That's Zerubbabel. So what's going on? That's his captive name. Just like Balthazar, Daniel got Balthazar. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego got captive names. So here go the prince in Daniel 9:25 right here. Sheshbazzar. But his Hebrew name is Zerubbabel. Keep going. So he brought these things out and gave them to the prince of Judah, the king of Judah, the governor. He gave him Sheshbazzar, which is Zerubbabel, right? So let's keep going. Now we go to, so they gave you his captive name right there in verse 8. But when you go to chapter 2, this is when they left. The prophecy is being fulfilled. Chapter 1, verse 1. These are the children of the providence that went up out of the captivity of those which had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, had carried away unto Babylon, and came unto Jerusalem and Judah. And they came unto Jerusalem and Judah, everyone unto his city. Now here you go. Which came with, there go his real name, with Zerubbabel and Joshua. See that? There go Zerubbabel and Joshua. Who is that? The same two men I just read in Haggai. That the Lord of hosts told them to speak to Zerubbabel and speak to Joshua. There they go. That ain't Jesus in Daniel 9:25. Now, if you want to, that's a fairy tale, but if you want to keep on, hold on to it, it's on you. But I just showed you it ain't none of him. Okay? So, anybody got any questions on that?
No, sir.
Okay. I had wrote this down on a couple of other pages. I kept on forgetting to talk about it, but I thought it was kind of something good to know. We always hear the Most High telling the Israelites not to deal with idols, and then you always seeing gods. For example, when the serpent came in the garden, he said, "God doeth know." That's the tree of knowledge of good and evil in the garden is Michael. I mean, it's an angel, which is Satan, Lucifer, Samuel. That's his name. And the tree of life is Michael El. It's two angelic beings in the garden. So anyway, he says the serpent tells her, she tell him, he tell her, yeah, you're not gonna when you do eat, God doeth know. We talk about the other angel that's there. God doeth know when you eat of this tree, you're gonna be as gods. So when you look at that, it's lowercase. So the scribe, whoever wrote that down, knew that wasn't capital G. Lord, that's angels, gods, Elohims. You got Els like Michael El, Gabriel, Raphael. El means one, but Elohim means more than one. So he telling her, yeah, when you do, if you eat, you do what I'm telling you to do, and you eat of this, take of this, then you're gonna be like the gods, like the angels. Okay, so when you go back to what's being instructed in the Old Testament, he keeps saying, don't deal with idols and don't deal with gods, other gods, no other gods besides me. That's these other angels. So an idol is an image, because these fallen angels are appearing to these people, just like these other angels, the good angels, Gabriel and Uriel and all them appearing to the Israelites. So they're appearing to them. So they make images of them. That's where you get idols from. They're images. But gods, when you see gods, those are fallen angels appearing to people, like up in the mountains. When they go and make these sacrifices, these fallen angels demanding human sacrifices, whereas the angel over Israel, the Lord of hosts, he demands animal sacrifices, clean animals. But these fallen angels, because they're so wicked, they demanding children, human sacrifices to them. So that's what that is. The idols are the images they make of these gods, so-called angels, when they see them, and gods is fallen angels. So let's look at it. Let's get it. I mean, you say, well, what you talking about? Let's make it plain. Daniel again. Daniel. This explains the whole thing right here. Who's the God over Israel? So we're in chapter 10 of Daniel. Okay, and it says, let me get it. Okay, I think I'm missing a page. There you go. I'm in chapter 10, and Gabriel came to Daniel to explain to him the dream, the vision of that he had saw by the river, right? So we're gonna pick it up in verse 18. It says, then there came again and touched me. I'm in Daniel 10 and 18. Then came again and touched me, one like the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me. So what is it telling us? The angels ain't made like us. We made like them. We made their image. So this angel came to Daniel to strengthen him after he had first cast. Gabriel came. He lost his. He had no strength in him. He went limp. So he had to come strengthen him. So he says right here in 18. Then there came again and touched me one like the appearance of a man. That's an angel. And he strengthened me and said, "O man," this Gabriel, "greatly beloved, fear not. Peace be unto thee. Be strong, yea, be strong." And when he had spoken unto me, I was strengthened. And he said, "Let my Lord," see that, lowercase, "speak, for thou hast strengthened me." This Daniel told him that. Now here go the angel. Then said he, "Knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now I'll return." Here you go. "I'll return to fight." It's the angel. "I'll return to fight with the prince of Persia." That's that's a fallen angel. That's over Persia, right? So he had to go back and fight with this angel from Persia. "And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Greece shall come." That's another fallen angel. That's over Greece. Now here we go. 21. This Gabriel talking. "But I will show thee that which is noted in the scriptures of truth." So what's the scriptures of truth? That's the book in heaven. That the reason why the angels are able to prophesy to us. They look at this book, but it's only two of them that can look at it. So it says, 21, "But I will show thee that which is noted in the scriptures of truth. There is none that holdeth with me in these things but Michael, your prince." So you got a fallen angel over Greece, you got a fallen angel over Persia, and Michael is over Israel. There it is right there. Not the creator. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So yeah. Anyway,
He's Shalom. He also was anointed to be a prince. He was anointed with the oil.
who that? Michael?
Yes, sir.
No, they ain't gotta be known. They're angelic beings. They coming from heaven. Those are when it says what people is not understanding because they've been, the information been taken away, skewed, but they keep saying holy ones, holy ones. It ain't but 7 holy ones. They don't want you to know that, but it's only 7 holy ones. So it's a holy one over Israel. And he just told you it was. It ain't but 7 of them. So they when he created them, he made them from fire, from himself. He made them from himself. He's a consuming fire, and he made these 7 angels. The first one he made was Michael. So anyway, they don't have to be anointed. They construct is anointed. Who they are is anointed.
Yes, sir.
Man has to be anointed, but they ain't got to be anointed. Right. So, if nobody have no questions on that, anybody have any questions, comments? We'll go to I'll start reading out of Zechariah, read a few chapters. So this is going to tie into what I already was talking about. Let me go to Zechariah right quick. Like I said, these books out of order. So we just saw where Cyrus came and told, brought the vessels that Nebuchadnezzar had took out of Babylon and gave them to Zerubbabel to take back. So, like I said, had Zerubbabel made it back to Jerusalem yet? It's 2,700 years ago we left. Has he made it to
No,
Jerusalem?
sir.
Have he made it yet?
No, sir.
Yeah. He
Oh,
went
he
back to
has?
Babylon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah. He made it back. He made it back. So Zechariah was in Babylon in captivity with him. That's how you know this book out of order. So so we in the book of Zechariah. Before I start reading, I just want to show you this. So now I'm in chapter 9. Like I told you, they took verses when they concocted JC at the council next year and put him in here, plucked him in these different places. So it says, Zerubbabel, he brought all the vessels out, gave them to him, and on his way back, he had to take them back. The only way to get back then was riding on an ass, the coat of an ass. That's the only way to get back. That was the mode of travel. So we see right here in chapter 9, verse 9, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem. Behold, thy king cometh unto thee. He is just, having salvation, lowly, riding upon an ass, upon the coat of an ass." This is in the book of Zechariah. Zechariah with Zerubbabel. So who was this on the ass? Zerubbabel. coming back to Jerusalem. All these minor prophets came out of Babylon with Zerubbabel.
Shalom.
Okay.
Is that how they put JC coming into Jerusalem on the
Right.
ass?
Right. And then you got to go back and look at the time frame when they want you to make you think that Zerubbabel, Zechariah prophesying. He ain't prophesying. Zechariah is with Zerubbabel. He with the Messiah that's in Daniel 9:25. He the one that's riding on the ass. And the daughter, it says in verse 9, rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Who is the daughter of Zion? That's the Israelites that's already there in the land. He coming back. The king out of David's lineage, on his way back to Jerusalem. But they took everything out of context. Okay? So anyway, let's start back. I'll go start reading at verse 1. Like I said, Zechariah, Haggai, go back to Ezra chapter 2. Zechariah and all them coming, Zechariah and them, all them is in that group of people that's coming back from Babylon after 70 years. All these minor prophets. They ain't talking about nobody in the future. Okay? So anyway, let's start reading. It says, I'm in Zechariah chapter 1. In the 8th month. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right here. I just read this in Micah. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Lord unto Zechariah. See that? Son of Bokiah, son of Edu, the prophet, saying. Now let's go to Daniel. Look at this. So this is the 8th month in the 2nd year of Darius. Darius reigning. Darius came on the throne after Cyrus. Cyrus came, then Darius. So now we back over here. We in Daniel. Let's go to Daniel right quick. So I can show you this. Okay. Chapter 9. Like I said. Daniel chapter 9. Here you go. Chapter 9. In the 1st year of Darius, son of Aorus, in the seed of the Medes and Persians, which were made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. See that? So this time frame. Ain't no time. He ain't not talking about nobody coming in no future. It's the same time frame. Zerubbabel, Daniel, Zechariah, all them involved in the same event right here. That's in Daniel 9:25. So it says, go back where I was at. Zechariah chapter 1, verse 1. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, same thing with Daniel. Came the word of the Lord unto Zechariah, the son of Bokiah, the son of Edu, the prophet, saying, the Lord hath been sore displeased with his fathers. Therefore, thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, right here. See that? Redeemer. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. Turn ye unto me, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will turn unto you, saith the Lord of hosts. Right? Not Jesus, not the creator. He said, turn to him, the Redeemer. Well, be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, turn ye now from your evil ways and from your evil doings, but they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, saith the Lord. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my word and my statute, which I commanded my servants, the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers? And they returned and said, like as the Lord of hosts thought to do unto us, according to your ways, our ways, and according to our doings, so have he dealt with us. Upon the 4th and 20th day of the 11th month, which is the 4th month of Shibet, in the 2nd year of Darius. See that? 2nd year of Darius came the word of the Lord unto Zechariah, the son of Bokiah, the son of Edu, the prophet, saying, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon. They go to the red horses, the horses they got over there in Revelation, right? It says, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse. He stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him there were red horses speckled and white. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee that which these be. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom the Lord hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth. So keep in mind, I just gave you the time frame. So this red horse, speckled horse, and white horse, just during the time of Zerubbabel. This is during the time when they came out of Babylon, right? Okay, and they answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle trees and said, Who have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, I am all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. Then the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts. See that? You got to look at that. You got to see what's going on. Then the angel of the Lord answered and said, he talking to the Lord of hosts, two different angels. So then the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation? These 70 years, they go to 70 years. Right there. This ain't got nothing to do with the New Testament. 13. And the Lord answered the angel. See that? So the Lord of hosts is an angel. He answered this other angel that talked with me good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me and unto me cried out, saying, Thus says the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem. See that? The Lord of hosts returned to Jerusalem. Not JC, not the Creator. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. So what line? In Ezekiel 40, they tell you that's the temple that's going to be built in the future. That's the line right here. Who was Ezekiel? Ezekiel in the captivity in Babylon. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. I'm in the book of Ezekiel. Okay. Chapter 1. Ezekiel chapter 1. Let's look at it. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river Kabar, so here in captivity in Babylon, right? By the river Kabar, that the heavens opened, and I saw a vision of God. So he in the captivity right here with them. All of them in the captivity, Babylon. Okay, that's why these books scrambled up. You can't see that, but anyway, so he in the captivity too. So he says, let's see, yeah, let me get where I was at. Yeah, verse 15, Zechariah 1 and 15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. Therefore, thus says the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies, and my house shall be built in it, a house, a temple, says the Lord of hosts. Nebuchadnezzar tore it down, and a line shall be stretched forth upon it. So you can't go and build the temple now, and don't build a temple when they go back at Zerubbabel temple. So this line that's stretched off is pertaining to the temple that Zerubbabel got to go back and build. 17, cry yet, saying, Thus says the Lord of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem. Then I lifted up my eyes and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, What be these? And he answered me, These are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. There you go up here. That's the red horse, the white horse, the speckled horse that they got over there in New Testament. Okay, 18. Then I lifted up my, 19. And I said unto the angel that was with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which I have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. And the Lord showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come they to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head, but these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horns over the land of Judah to scatter it. Now here go the line I told you about. Chapter 2. I lifted up mine eyes again, and I looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. See that? All these men, Zechariah, Ezekiel, all of them is living at the same time. And they're talking about leaving Babylon. They got nothing to do with Peter and Paul and John. So it says, then I asked, then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, run, speak to this young man, to Ezekiel, saying, Jerusalem, here go Daniel 9:25, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein. For I, saith the Lord, will be unto her as a wall of fire round about, and I will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, ho, come forth, and flee from the land of the north. Babylon is the land of the north, saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as the 4 winds of heaven, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwelleth in the daughter of Babylon. They ain't Babylon. America ain't daughter of Babylon. Yeah. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory have he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you, for he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye. For behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants, and ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me. See that? Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for lo, I come. I will dwell in the midst of thee, says the Lord. Not your house, I will come, I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Lord of hosts. And many nations shall be joined to the Lord in that day, and shall be my people, and I will be there in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto thee. And the Lord shall inherit Judah, his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again. Be silent, O flesh, before the Lord, for he is raised up out of his holy habitation. See that? Verse 3. Now here we go right here. You want to say some man had to come and die for sin? Let's look at it right here. And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, that's the out of lineage of Aaron, standing before the angel of the Lord, right? Standing before the angel of the Lord. And Satan at the right hand to resist him. Like I said, 2 angels. There's 2 angels in the garden. The tree of knowledge of good and evil is Lucifer. The tree of life is Michael. So verse 2, the Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuked thee, Satan. Check it out. He's standing before the angel of the Lord. The Lord rebuked thee, even the Lord that have chosen Jerusalem. That's the Lord of hosts. Rebuke thee. Is this not a brand plucked out of the fire? Now Joshua was clothed with a filthy garment, stood before the angel. See that? Stood before the angel. Not the creator. He stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood by him. Just the other 6. 7 angels he created in the beginning. He formed. And he answered and spake unto those that stood by him, saying, take away the filthy garment. It's the angel. Take away the filthy garment from him. And unto him he said, the angel talking, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with a change of raiment. So he goes, this angel got the ability to take a sin away. Well, what you need somebody coming on the cross when this angel right here took the sin away. Didn't nobody have to get pierced in the side? None of that. So he says right here, and he answered and spake unto those that stood by him, saying, take away the filthy garment from him. And unto him he said, behold, I, come on, thou caused thine iniquity, sin, to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with a change of raiment. And I said, let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by. And the angel of the Lord protested unto Joshua, saying, yeah, and Yahweh ain't nowhere around. We know JC ain't there. Thus said the Lord of hosts, there he is. If thou wilt walk in my ways, this is the Lord of hosts. If thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house. Yahweh got a house in heaven. If you read the book of Enoch, you'll know that. So the house that's in Jerusalem ain't none of Yahweh's house. He says, I will give thee a place to walk among these that stand by. Hear now, Joshua, the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wonder there. Now here you go. For behold, I will bring forth my servant the branch. Who are you talking about? David. He got a covenant with David, and now he got to bring forth Zerubbabel. It's time for them to go back. He already identified Joshua out of Aaron's lineage. Now he got to bring forth the branch out of David, which is Zerubbabel. This ain't no Jesus. 9. Behold, the stone that I have laid before Joshua. Upon one stone, he's going to tell you that in a minute. You ain't got to take my word for it. Upon one stone shall be 7 eyes. That's these 7 angels. Behold, I will engrave the gravings thereof, said the Lord of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity. You see that? There you go again. I will remove the sin of that land in one day. This angel right here, you ain't got to kill him. You ain't got to pierce him in the side for him to get rid of your sin. Come on. So anyway, he says, in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, shall I call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree. He said, the angel that talked with me came again and waked me as a man that is waking out of his sleep, and said unto me, what seest thou? And I said, I have looked, and behold, a candlestick, all of gold, with a bowl upon the top of it, and 7 lamps thereon, 7 pipes to the 7 lamps which are upon it. That's the menorah that's in the Holy of Holies. And 2 olive trees by it, one upon the right side of the bowl, and the other upon the left side of the bowl. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, what are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, knowest thou what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel. There he is, right there, Zerubbabel. This is the Messiah in Daniel 9:25. He the one going to rebuild the temple. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, this is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, not by might, nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts. Who art thou, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, thou shalt become a plain, and he shall bring forth the headstone. It's the temple in Jerusalem, the one that's in Ezekiel 40. The headstone thereof with shouting, crying, grace unto grace. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, the hands of Zerubbabel. So if you're a lowly Christian, you got to be asking, who the hell is Zerubbabel? Well, I'm breaking it down to you. The hand of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house, and the hands shall also finish it. And thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me unto you. For whoever despises the day of small things, for they shall rejoice and see the plummet in the hands of Zerubbabel with those 7. They are the eyes of the Lord which run to and fro on the earth. That's who's in Genesis chapter 1:26. Let us make man in our image. They hoodwink you, tell you think it's the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. So anyway, 12. I answered again and he said unto me, what be these 2 olive branches, which through the 2 golden pipes empty the golden oil out of themselves? Now here you go. And he answered me and said, knowest thou not what these be? And I said, no, my Lord. Then he said, these are the 2 anointed ones And that's all Messiah means. These are the two anointed ones that stand by the Lord of the whole earth. So there go the Redeemer right here. The Lord of the whole earth, that's Michael. And the two anointed ones, David's lineage and Aaron's lineage, in the Holy of Holies once a year. The Lord of hosts come down on the mercy seat. Not Yahweh. The Lord of hosts come down on the mercy seat. These two men right here, one out of David's lineage, one out of Aaron's lineage, come into the temple. Okay? So let me read one more chapter. It ain't that long. Chapter 5. Then I turned, and I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, what seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof is 10 cubits. Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off, as one is on this side according to it, and everyone that swear shall be cut off as that side according to it. I will bring forth, said the Lord of hosts, and I shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that swear falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and I shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Right? Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, lift up now thine eyes and see what this or what is this that goeth forth. And I said, what is it? And he said, this is an ephod that goeth forth. He said, moreover, this is the resemblance thereof through the earth. And behold, there was lifted up a talent of lead, and this is a woman that sitteth in the midst thereof of the ephod. And he said, this is wickedness. And he cast it into the midst of the ephod, and he cast the weight of the lead upon the mouth thereof. Then he lifted up. Then I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, there came out two women, and the wind was in their wings, for they had wings like the wings of a stork, and they lifted up the ephod between the earth and the heavens. Then said I to the angel that talked with me, whether do these bear the ephod? And he said unto me, to build a house in the land of Shinar, and it shall be established and set thereof upon our own base. So that was Zechariah chapter 5. I'll open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments? I think we read 5 chapters. Anybody got anything they want to talk about?
No,
Okay,
sir,
let's look
not
at
at
it.
this time.
Okay, so brother says, Michael is the Redeemer and the Lord of hosts. Yeah, titles, just like Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a title. Shem is Melchizedek. Abraham was Melchizedek. Before the flood, Adam was Melchizedek. He passed it on with a title. It was passed on to Seth. Seth passed it on to Canaan. And it was Enos and then Canaan. It just went on down the line. So after the flood, that Shem that came to Abraham. Shem's still alive, Melchizedek. And that's all this is right here. This Lord of hosts is a title. Michael is the Lord of hosts. He's the Lord over the Most High's army, both in heaven and upon the earth. Okay. Satan ain't nothing but a title. Satan is Lucifer. Samuel, that's who came in the garden, not Satan. That's a title, which means adversary. That's what these Europeans and these Edomites have done to us. Look with the scriptures. Okay. Okay. Redeemer, deliverer. Let me read a verse right quick. So I did this before, but let's look at it. I'm in Daniel chapter 12. You'll see it right here. You think it's strange that he got He's the Redeemer and the Lord of hosts all in one. Let's look at Daniel chapter 12. Like I said, I didn't write this. Chapter 12. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time, Michael shall stand up, the great prince. So it's Michael, the great prince, which standeth for the children of Israel, for the children of our people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even at the same time. And at that time, our people shall be delivered. They're going to deliver right there. He's Michael, he's deliverer, great prince, all in the same verse. See that? Say at that time, when he stand up, Israel shall be delivered. So you go to verse 2. Verse 2 take you to, when you write the dividing scriptures, take you to Ezekiel 37. Many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake. That's Ezekiel 37. Some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars of heaven. So when Michael stand up, this is when all this happened. So, I mean, where JC at? Okay. This something?
Yes, sir.
Right. It's all through the scriptures. I mean, you know, it's all once the light is shining on it, you can't get out of it. It's all over. He's all over the scriptures. That's the trick to this whole thing. What they've done to us as Israelites, which was already prophesied, that we was going to lose our heritage, we was going to lose our understanding. He cast us off. Now it's time for us to be regathered. He's waking his people up, especially the Levites, the suffering servant. Okay. Anybody else have anything else before we vacate the premises?
No, sir.
So, right. So, like I was, I mean, right here. I mean, you're correct. We definitely need to be crying out to our deliverer to get to help us. So, like I said, our forefathers, this is who our forefathers was crying out to, and we see he showed up every time. We've been crying out to these characters they gave us. We still in a pickle because they gave us another deliverer. Skewed the understanding. Okay. So nobody else have anything. We're gonna call it a night. Okay. So okay. Shalom, man. Another shalom. We got our
Shalom.
women's Bible study tomorrow. The men can come in to YouTube. Okay. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom, everyone.